Welcome to another episode of Nerds Amalgamated. I am the DJ, and with me today I have Debbie Boy.
Hey, what's up?
And nothing much. And the Professor.
Hello.
How you fellas been?
Oh, all right. Living my way through the slow and dark abyss of sitting in my chair 24 hours a week.
Well, look at the bright side. At least you're now a responsible adult with all the corona craziness.
So that's 24 hours a week. You could compress that into one day and spend the rest of the week doing whatever you want.
Definitely didn't make an error in my speech.
So I take it you had fun.
In a sort of sense, yes, definitely.
How about you, Professor? How's things at your end?
It's going pretty well for me. I've got good food. I've got good games. Everyone at work started to learn how to work from home, so I'm getting less busy.
So you're living the dream.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I envy you, you lucky man.
Look, you envy me now, but you don't envy me a week ago when everyone was still learning how to work from home.
The food was the kicker. Look, everyone's still talking about the corona craziness and how it's affecting lives and whatnot.
Well, it is. Next topic, please.
Next one, moving on.
Fair enough. So, topic for this week. I've got a story about a live action Robin Hood coming soon.
Oh.
Nope.
But there's already been a live action Robin Hood multiple times.
Oh, yes. Can we get Men in Tights animated Disney movie?
Oh, perfect.
Okay, so for this one, it's this is the Disney version of Robin Hood, which is the one with the animals talking and whatnot.
Yeah.
So the movie back then was seen as critical praise, fall and rise again over the years. And although its influence seems long-lasting, one of the songs, "Love," was nominated for an Oscar, while another, "Oh, the Lale," was well known. So this new take, it's going to feature characters are anthropomorphic, and
Have they forgotten what happened with cats?
No.
This isn't the Jungle Book.
No,
Jungle Book had decent animals. Cats did not.
Hey guys, welcome to our new movie.
This is going to be the cat's end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. So this time, it's a live-action / CG hybrid format. So you expect to see a live-action reboot of the Lion King mold. No live-action elements, but the animation presented in a far more realistic style.
Yeah, because that worked so well for Lion King, didn't it?
Oh man, I would have loved it to be on like the advertising. It's like, welcome to Robin Hood, now using fur technology 0.2.
AMD Tress Effects.
New and approved.
Okay, but can you imagine this in the Cats? They did the Cats standard of animation.
Oh man,
are we gonna get a butthole cut?
Oh no, please no. I heard that was a myth.
I hope it is.
You hope.
Oh god, if there is a thing, I'll just go, no, you pushed it too far. Oh man, I will say this though, bringing this movie back at this time, interesting choice.
Very interesting, isn't it?
Why is it so interesting?
Yeah, well, animals doing live action versions of old animated movies. Come on, it's like it worked for Lion King. Let's see it work on other shows like Lady and the Tramp.
That's the thing. It didn't work for Lion King.
I know. Well, okay.
The Lion King remake was not good. It completely lost any of the soul. It was like watching a nature documentary that had annoying songs on top of it.
But it made money.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it's even though it had like people hating it, it $1.6 million at the end.
Yep.
Oh, billion, yeah, 1.6 billion, yeah.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
So, yeah, the director for this one is Carlos Lopez Estrada, best known for directing the 2018 crime movie Blind Spotting. And it's been written by Carrie Grumland, who was also in a Disney movie, which was Lady and the Tramp. Good times.
And I see Grunland also co-wrote Godmothered, another Disney movie.
Yeah, Disney Plus movie, yeah. So yeah, the problem with this one is, so this is going to be released in Disney Plus.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Along with everything else that comes out this year.
Pretty much.
There is a bit of a thing though, because here's the thing, like from what I've gathered, it said that Lady and the Tramp was also a Disney Plus movie when the service was launched last year. So there's now a rule, I think, that's basically saying titles they're not going to generate an impressive return on investment in theaters will go to streaming, basically.
Yeah, makes perfect sense why they need to do that. And they still need to get these movies out. They can't really delay them because, just gonna have a backlog then.
Yeah. So then it also, and the result of it is basically it builds up the streaming library for Disney and gives a subscriber a reason to continue shelling out the service. Yeah. Although I wonder with this version of Robin Hood, I wonder what type of liberties are they going to put into this version.
You don't really know until it happens, do you? It's
yeah.
Like Robin Hood's that one in the middle where it's like, I guess, less of an asshole, I guess, considering how he was in the original. Like, it's like, hey there, Prince. Yeah. Bye. Like, I don't know. Make him add more of a chin and just make him more of a Disney, like, prince, I guess. I don't know where they're going to take it, honestly.
This is Disney.
So you think the animated Robin Hood wasn't nice enough?
You've got to get people in the theater somehow. If you're using digital effects,
it's been so long since I've seen it, so I don't remember whether he was nice or not. I'd assume he was because it's a kids' movie, but
who's this?
Hey, wasn't he a fox?
Yeah.
Robin Hood.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll think of a different animated movie. Well,
now you've got me worried.
Okay. Well, you could work the same. You just get the furry community involved, and you'll still make some money. It's a means to an end in all situations.
Oh man, that would be weird if that happened. I can imagine, like, if they do it in the cat style, I can imagine like a human face in a bear body. I'll be like, no.
Do not put that horror in my head.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to Fur Technology 0.2 with improved tail physics.
Do not encourage the furries.
We added some arse shots for you throughout the film.
Oh! Or the even worse, I got an even worse one. The snake.
Oh. Just make it a naga and everyone will be happy.
Oh, no. Oh, it's so wrong.
Please stop.
Yep, I'm going to stop. Yep. So, yeah, okay, so here's the thing. The number one question surrounding this new Robin Hood, whether the CG Fox will be as uncomfortably handsome as the 1973 version.
Oh, man.
Well, if they go for the Lion King style, it's going to be hyper realistic, and he's not. Foxes in real life are not handsome.
So we'll be just Cat 0.2.
Oh,
yeah.
So many disturbing things we could do.
My mind is full. Please help.
It's too late for you.
Alright, anyways, moving along. Professor, you got a story about Bohemia Interactive sales reaching obscene amounts of money.
Well, I wouldn't say it's obscene because it's only still in the millions. But Bohemia Interactive have had their best year to date and made $68 million of sales last year in US dollars. they sold 4.5 million copies of their games and DLCs. And apparently that's partly because last year was their biggest year for releases. The what I'm excited for though is Arma 4, if they ever get to it, because part of DayZ was producing a new engine. They basically use it as their test bed for a new engine to get the basically get something going for all their future games. So I'm really looking forward to the it's called the Infusion engine. I'm looking forward to that being put into Arma 4 because it's now been 6 years since Arma 3 came out, and they're still producing DLC for that. But the engine is showing its age because they're using a hyper-extended version of the engine they used for their first Arma series game, Operation Flashpoint, which was renamed to Arma Cold War Assault, I think, off the top of my head, when they lost the naming rights in a split from their publisher. So their major projects for the last year, DayZ, which actually is coming along finally. It's been delayed. It's been delayed forever because they were using it to build the engine. But now they sold 400,000 copies of the Livonia DLC for that, which the Livonia DLC comes from the Arma 3 DLC. I can't remember the name of it, First Contact or something like that. It's a map set in a area based on Poland. And Arma 3, they've released a couple of new DLCs in the past 12 months. And Figure, which is one I'm disappointed about. It's kind of a DayZ type game, but it's set in post-war Norway and is unfortunately Xbox exclusive.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a sting.
It's a shame because I love this developer's games. They're clunky as hell, but you can do things in Arma that you can't do anywhere else. Yeah, so that was their 20th anniversary, and they plan to release Infusion sometime this year.
So have they announced any features of the new game that's going to be coming, or?
Unfortunately not, that I can see. The latest DLC for Arma 3 is called Old Man, which is set in the Tanoa map, which is a Pacific island, and is about, well, here's the plot summary. When a new strain of malaria causes yet another humanitarian crisis, and local authorities fail to distribute an effective vaccine to the civilian population, you're tipped off about a possible plot. Together with a former military contact, you attempt to avert a catastrophic power play in the region. So you play as a retired legionnaire and come back into service to deal with the issues in this DLC.
It sounds really interesting. So it's like tropical setting, guessing?
Yeah, this one's Tanoa is a tropical setting. The official maps for Arma 3 are 2 islands in the Greek islands, which is actually where they ran into some trouble. All of their Arma games are, I believe, based on actual places until they had a couple of developers get arrested for going on holiday in Greece and taking a photo of a military base.
Oh, God, oops.
Yeah, so they were arrested for espionage. And they were like, you know what? Maybe we should avoid that next time. So they've now done Tanoa and Livonia, which are Pacific Island and Poland, respectively, but they're not based on any one location.
Yeah, also, speaking of arrest, I do recall they also were arrested in Iran as well, if I recall.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, there were, so apparently in 2012, the Iran's National Foundation of Computer Games. Wow, what a name. So original. And the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps refused to allow the sale of Arma 3 because the game portrayed the CSAT faction, which was composed of Iranian soldiers in the main campaign, as an enemy to NATO. Yeah,
so the original setting for Arma 3 before the DLCs was the Greek islands, and it's set in the mid 2030s. Like, I think the first campaign is 2035. So there's some minor sci-fi weapons. What I think is disappointing is they started off with some very sci-fi stuff, railguns and all that, and then ditched it. Then they produced some more just into the future sort of stuff. 20 minutes into the future. But the plot is CSAT, Turkey and Iran and a couple of other places versus NATO fighting over Greece.
And like, I guess the final one would be like, is there any new weapons or stuff with it, or it's
Yes.
still? Oh,
So the Old Man DLC is adding new static machine gun variants and several other assets. I'm just filling up the full changelog now. But the what's nice about it, each DLC they add features to the core engine, and you get that for free even if you don't buy the new campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually a bit awkward that Old Man was released this month, and it's about a malarial pandemic.
I was thinking it was like a few months ago. Obviously, it's been developed for a while, but
It's been in development it's been going for a year or something now. But it's just now they're finally released, and there's a malarian epidemic in the setting.
They should have probably renamed it, got some more clout.
Yeah, right. Yeah, deal with coronavirus with your gun.
Hey, America. Game for you.
Let's see. Tweaked. Vans should now be able to drive over bridges correctly. That's
a good start.
That happens. Yeah, that happens sometimes. The physics engine is much better than it was in Arma 2, but it is still buggy as hell. I'm just seeing if there's any details on what they've added.
With the new engine, just curiously, Professor, is it going to be is there going to be destructible environments, or is it still the?
Okay, destructible environments are already in. They're not fully destructible, but if you bomb a building, it will start to collapse. They've been in since the launch of Arma 3. So, the new features I've just seen are the Old Man DLC and props for that, decals for that. They've modified the static M2. There's now a variant of optional ballistic shield and collimator sight, and it looks like that's most of the new stuff. Added infected characters, not accessible in the editor, document pending. So some of the content that they add for the campaigns isn't accessible in the editor. Like Contact was had parts of chemical warfare in it, and they had a gas mask, but I don't believe they work outside the Contact campaign, which I haven't played it yet, but the trailer strongly implies that there's alien, because the company that used to be all about realistic has gotten a bit weird recently. But that's okay, because the fans make enough realistic military stuff to go in anyway.
Yeah.
Never underestimate the modding community.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bethesda.
Arma has one of the best modding communities. Like, Skyrim has all those cool features. Arma has probably just as big of a modding community for its relative size. And that's where DayZ came from. It was originally a mod for Arma 2. Battle Royale started as, well, a mod for Minecraft, but it also got mods for Arma 2 and Arma 3 and DayZ. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else that they've done that has become a big project. Okay, not off the top of my head. Yeah, it's making me want to get back into my my gaming group. I'm part of an Arma 3 sort of military simulator group. We don't take it too hardcore, but we have fire teams and sections and all that, and it's a lot of fun just working in a team like that.
Can you imagine a few moments later? Oh my god!
Sorry, what was that?
Can you imagine a few moments later, the professor goes, "Run, man, run!"
I think that new Discord sound suppression is working really well.
Yeah, the sound suppression has decided that you weeks.
You shall not talk.
You are no longer welcome here, DJ.
Dang.
I think you're trying to yell that, and your voice is going way too high for it to pick up. So it's like, that's background noise, going to cut it out.
Dang.
Don't do that. That's even worse. Yeah, so yes, I do end up often screaming, "Oh shit, run!" Particularly when you come around a corner and come face to face with a tank.
Oh, I mean, granted, pretty fair, I say, in that situation.
Yeah, it's also a lot of fun when you just pin down on a building and there's tons of enemies coming to get you and no way out, and you have to fight them off.
How many enemies usually spawn?
I think we used to go for a 10-to-1 ratio for the number of enemies in the map in the mission, and we mostly spawn them as sections, so about 8 men at a time. You can end up with a couple of sections coming at you at once, and then these days we use the Zeus feature, which is basically the Game Master mode. The Game Master can spawn enemies, set fire missions for artillery, set up a bombing run, all sorts of fun stuff like that, just to screw with you. But yeah, we use that mostly now because we used to script it, but the scripting engine that we were using was a bit non-performant. It
gotcha.
Yeah, needed some optimization. But I think it's a lot of fun. Like, a lot of people don't think they'll like it, and then they try to get hooked.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the sort of game which, when you first look at it, it's like, this seems a bit, hardcore, but...
Yeah, it is absolutely hardcore, but once you learn it, it's so worth it.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a learning curve, that's all, hey?
Yeah, and that's why it's best to join a team, because your team can teach you and help you work around the learning curve.
Lootbox is just more fun.
Yeah, yes, it's more fun when you're actually screaming, "Oh shit, run," at people, than when it's just you're pushing the button and your character. The voice acting in the game has a dynamic voice acting feature, so you can give orders to your squad mates, and then your character will read them out. But it sounds like contact, man, 9 o'clock. Because it just doesn't flow.
Such immersion.
Oh yeah.
So I think so. You reckon this studio will have a big bright future?
I do. I think if they can pump out an Armor 4 using, or even just port Armor 3 to Infusion, that would resolve all of the issues they've got with performance, because the game does chug when there's a lot of enemies on the field. Infusion's supposed to fix the performance, fix the netcode, stop hackers. The game's sort of notoriously insecure, and they've been working on it, but Infusion should fix a lot of that just because of the way it works. It now only gives you data on players within a certain distance of you, instead of showing you as I understand it, the Armor engine sends you all the data for all of the entities on the map. Infusion cuts that down to a bubble around you.
The other question as well, with the Infusion engine, it will be, is it ray trace compatible as well?
I don't know.
Because ray tracing seems to be a big thing nowadays.
Yeah, the lighting is actually pretty good. But just from a quick Google, it doesn't look like they are featuring ray tracing in Infusion. But the lighting is still very good.
Yeah. Anyways, so in the interest of time, let's keep moving along. Debbie Boy, you've got a story about ESRB and loot boxes.
Hey, ESRB here. Hey guys, we've been hearing your calls, lately in the gaming community. You've been talking about this thing called, what was it? Surprise mechanics. You've been very concerned about. So we have taken a big leap and step to solve this for you. We have now included on all games that include surprise mechanics a little thing that says includes random items.
That doesn't sound much like a surprise to me. If I buy a game and I already know about the surprise mechanics, it's not a surprise.
Well, I'm sorry there, sir, but we're already patting ourselves on the back. Job's done. Problem solved.
This doesn't solve anything.
There's plenty more surprises for you to find out, I'm sure. But yeah, so ESRB's finally done something to try and combat the negativity coming from loot boxes. And that negativity is simply just putting a little thing on the bottom of where they usually put them on their little rating logo that says, it's just one little line says, includes random items. And that can mean anything. It can mean loot boxes, in-game purchases, it's in-game purchases but randomized, like it could be a card pack thing, or it just has to be randomized.
It is more specific than the old label, which was just includes in-game purchases.
It is more specific.
More.
Yeah, it's like they've done a whole publicity thing on it. It's like includes random items, which is like if you're a parent walking into a game shop or online, you see includes random items. Well, includes random items. Great. Where? What? What are they? Well, what type of? It's at least something, I guess.
And how long has it been since they? Because if I recall, the ESRB didn't do anything in the beginning, and now they're just going, yeah, we're gonna add them now.
It's been years. I mean, I think 2017, Styles Battlefront 2, that whole thing blew up, which one I guess it really started to take off.
The ESRB is a industry group, isn't it?
Yeah, it's run by the industry itself, so obviously you can see where the interests are.
Yeah, because when Battlefront 2 came out, there was no and loot boxes came out at the time. ESRB said, "Nah, we're not going to do much about it. Nah, nothing."
That's fine, guys. Don't worry about it. It's all good. What do you mean it's gambling for kids? Nah, it's all good. Don't do it. Just don't put your money. Oh, you mean it's part of the core gameplay loop? Just don't worry about it. Don't buy the game. Oh, hang on. We didn't actually mean that. Buy it, but just don't play it. Leave it on your shelf. It looks pretty. Great. Done.
Do you reckon it's too little too late at this point, though?
I mean, yeah, to an extent, because companies are moving away from doing those practices because of the disdain that comes from them. So, I mean, it's really anyone's game at this point. I must applaud the police doing something. It's nice, but would have been nice a little bit earlier, guys. Would have been nice a little bit earlier.
Although, can you imagine being a game developer and you feel so guilty, just going, "Do I really? If I may include random elements, that's gonna sting my consumer base."
I mean, it's not the game developers doing it; it's the higher ups.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for them, it is they do have a guilty feeling, but it's the higher ups who put them in usually because you need that money. But yeah, it really depends. It really depends. I mean, the benefit of loot boxes, if you can even say there is, but there is a benefit, and that is if the game is free to play, then by all means, fair enough. You get money somehow to support the service and stuff. But if it's just, it's a paid game and it has this as well, then, it's really, guys, come on.
I just think that even though it's I agree with you, Debbie Boy, that it's too little too late. I just think, I think game companies will find loopholes around this as well.
There is already a million loopholes in this.
Oh, there is?
I mean, it just says in-game random items. There are so many. It's like pieces of, sliced cheese. There's a million holes right through it. I mean, it literally it gives you some clue that there's random items in the game, I guess. But what type or how or what are they just cosmetic or are they actually weapons and stuff?
Will this give my character a lot of XP?
Who knows?
How about you, Professor? What's your take on this situation?
Yeah, I think it's too little too late. It's not clear enough. I think it needs more clarity, which is hard to fit in a little box on a box that's already quite small. But I think there needs to be a better way to communicate what it is and how it works.
Can you imagine doing those game ads and it'd be like, warning, this game will contain random items, and then instead of going
like American medicine ads.
Yeah.
This product is not suitable for anyone who is pregnant, breastfeeding, over 50. Fish oil in.
Buy it now.
And the ad is 30% advertising the product, 70% some voice reading offside of it.
Talking about how bad the loot boxes will be. Yeah, but I think the key to this at the end is just context matters.
Yeah, it does. And who knows where it'll go from here? Hopefully more.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah. Okay, so moving along, we've got an interesting story about the mathematically perfect steak.
Oh, yeah. So, have you had an experience where you've been at the restaurant and gone, oh, I could, medium rare, please, with a touch of some fat, and give me a glass of wine. And they come back and it's not exactly to your standards. It's a bit crispy, it's a bit burnt. Well, never fear. Science is here. So some scientists have done some research and published in the European Physical Journal Plus on March 23rd. They have created a mathematical model that determines how to get the most perfectly cooked steak, depending on the conditions that it's put in. So it takes into account and calculates the way the meat shall deform, and the water evaporates, the steak itself shrinks through the process. So it takes all into account and works out the correct cooking time conditions to get the most perfect, tender, and delicious steak imaginable. Look out, Heston. I could do it for home as well now too.
Can you make yours out of make your steak look like a garden bed? Because Heston could do that.
Do it. You just get your steak, cook it well. Make sure you follow the mathematical model. Get some Brussels sprouts and get some tweezers and poke them into the steak itself. It's like a garden. The steak's the brown dirt, and it looks like it's off, and there's like things growing in it. It's great.
So what are the additions in this journal that talks about the steak, the perfect steak, as they call
so
it?
condition wise, it depends on firstly the steak's moistness. Depends how moist the steak is. So if it's a pretty dried out one, or it's still got a lot of fat and juice in it, and then also one's obviously the heat. And also the environment. So if it's, a hot environment or the cold environment, depends on that. It takes into account and develops the perfect test and steak.
So what have they come out what have they said in the end?
In the end, it's a success, and a bit more research needed, but it's if you follow the studies to the perfect conclusion, you can get yourself a good steak. Granted, I will say right now, I have not seen the full article because it's locked behind a paywall, as most scientific articles are. I believe it's...
That's true.
I tried. I wanted to find out the truth. But to read the full article, I think it was like 35 euros or something. So...
Would you pay 35 euros to make a perfect steak every time?
I mean... depends. I mean, I wouldn't be... I guess depends how fussy you'd be. 37 euros. Oh, no, hang on. It's 37,000 euros. 37-40.
Wow.
Hang on, let me just do this. Let me get a calculator to AUD, because I am not a good at euros. I'm sorry, people who live in England.
England doesn't even use the euro.
Oh, hang on. All right, so it's... Let me get this right. No.
Well, Brad is looking up the price.
I am trying this. I am okay.
You got it.
Oh.
He's got it.
Can I? Yeah, $63, I believe. Okay. Oh no, sorry. 63,000.
What?
That seems like way too much.
It does.
Yeah.
Maybe the font wrong. Maybe I'm getting things confused. Regardless, it's money and I'm not paying for it. I'm sorry.
You're a broke uni student. That's your excuse.
That is my excuse. I'll eat whatever I can.
You know what's gonna be funny though? Imagine if they with this perfect model for meat cooking. Can you imagine all these YouTube channels all like saying, okay, kids, this is how you cook the perfect steak. They all go, nah, okay, I'm canceling my YouTube channel. Someone's found the perfect way of cooking your meat. I'm done.
Well, yes, there is a mathematically perfect way of doing everything. So,
I'll be the new season MasterChef. It's like, hey, what do you mean? You haven't cooked the steak to the mathematical... Oh, get this out of my face.
Can you imagine Gordon Ramsay?
This is fucking... Okay, this is discussion. What are you doing? No, get out! Out! I did not tell you not to cook steak to the mathematical payroll. Make sure you do. This is disgusting. It's the worst threat to humanity. You're a failure. You've done this to yourself. Oh, out of here.
Actually, I was thinking, imagine if Iron Chef came back and it's all mathematical cooking.
Oh.
I would watch that.
You watch it?
Yep.
Today on Mathematical Cooking, we have our contestants, some of the greatest mathematicians across the world. Today they must cook steak.
The what?
Steak.
The
best steak will win.
Oh, it would never end. This will never end. I mean, cookbooks will even go out of business. Go like, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know those books engineers use that have like the coefficients of everything in them.
Mm-hmm.
You just get one of them for your kitchen.
Just get a robot. Easy, done. All good.
Yeah. I'm seeing the abstract for this one. It's interesting. They're saying they're using the Flory-Reiner theory. Give me a sec. Which they're saying in I'm just having a brief look. So it's the brief version of it is basically saying in polymer science, this equation is an equation that describes the mixing of polymer and liquid molecules as predicted by the equilibrium swelling theory of Flory and Reiner. It describes the equilibrium swelling of lightly cross-linked polymer in terms of cross-link density and the quality of the solvent.
Now, that article is published on archive.org, and it was submitted, according to the submitter details, it was submitted by the author, so we can tell it's a legitimate copy. So I'm just going to throw that in the show notes, and you too can learn the formula for the perfect steak. It's a 14-page paper about cooking the perfect steak.
Can you imagine like adding a new, like add 14 pages to an already thick cookbook?
More than that, because we now need to work out the mathematical model for cooking fish, vegetables.
Oh, this ought
Here it is, the actual document. Oh man, I can finally learn their secrets.
Well, check at the bottom. They've even got pseudocode on it.
I'll just plug this in, connect up the robot arm, and...
Yeah, I don't know what any of this means, but it's there.
Lots of models. Lots of mathematical calculations.
I wonder
any
if
mathematicians in the chat?
Yeah. I wonder if anyone can actually decipher all this and come up with it.
Who wrote it?
Who wrote it, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, but can you imagine asking all the will the normal cook be able to look through this and go, yeah, I can't cook this, man?
No, the normal cook won't be able to. The normal cook will follow the sensible rules that have been developed over time by chefs so that you know how to cook things. Because not everything needs to be mathematically perfect. Close enough is good enough.
Would you? So your opinion, Professor, is basically you rather have a close enough, good enough steak rather than mathematical perfect steak.
Yeah, because I reckon I'm not going to be able to tell the difference.
Yeah. How about you, Debbie boy? Would you do it?
Would I?
Yeah.
If I had the money to buy steak, then I would. Step number one.
I don't know. Okay, I would do it for the experience, but I wouldn't do it like on a consistent level.
Yeah, just do it once to learn, and then yeah.
Yeah, and then you go away. You're like, yep, I've learned something. Although I wonder if they said in this article, does it include two meat? Does it include two veg?
No, it doesn't. It just comes to meat.
Fair enough. Anyway, so Professor, what game have you been playing?
I've been playing Think of the Children.
Really? That's actually a title?
Yes. It's an Aussie game by a team from Brisbane. And I've been playing it with my girlfriend, who's staying with me during quarantine. And we've discovered we probably shouldn't have kids.
Well, there's the conclusion, isn't there?
Yep.
So the basic idea is that your play is up to 4 parents, and you have 6 children who are being typical children and doing their best to get killed. And your goal is to not let them get killed while you also go through and complete tasks. So the hardest level we've done so far is the airport, where you have to go through check-in while keeping your kids from getting sucked into the escalator, waking up sleeping people, getting run over by people who with their luggage carts. It's pretty frantic. And it's got a bit of a plot, which is really funny. The writing's really funny. You've been hauled in front of the courts for child endangerment, and you have to justify your position by playing the levels. But the writing in the court scenes is great.
So basically, a game about helicopter parenting.
No, because the kids are like 4 years old. At that point, it's not helicopter parenting. It's just stopping them committing suicide. Because kids are good at committing suicide.
They know their future already. They just all, they're just saving the pain down the line.
Although this type of game reminds me of those compilation videos where dad saved the kids at the last minute, and it's like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's basically the game.
Let's be honest, my girlfriend's not great at games, she's getting better, so it is mostly me saving.
Look at staying on a high horse. No, I mean, so the game itself, like basically the kids, they'll run up. I think it's like a mulberry bush in one of them, like a poisonous bush. If I remember correctly. That's right. And they just start eating stuff. And then another one runs away. Like
one of them will run into the road chasing butterflies.
Yeah. It's just the car comes. I mean, it would get pretty dark pretty fast if it wasn't for the cartoony art style.
And if there was blood splatters.
True. But it comes together really well.
Mm-hmm. So, what's the biggest flaw you've encountered in this game so far?
I wouldn't say there's any major flaws. I haven't had any bugs. The only flaw is that if we got everyone to play this, the human race would die out because no one would want kids. So, on that note, see you guys. So, well, how many nerdy beanies would you give this game out of? 4.5 out of 5. Like, it's not absolutely blow you away amazing, but it is so fun. And I reckon I'm going to keep pulling it out at LAN parties and stuff because it's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice. Debbie boy, what have you been playing?
VR chat.
Now, I said to him earlier, I'm worried about what I would see if I checked his Steam history for how long he's been playing that.
Good thing. Oh, hang on. No, it's fine. Oh, hang on. Because I was like, I'm using my own account, so I'll link to my Steam account, but wait, I still got to logging into Steam to start the game, so we're still seeing how long I play. Oh, damn.
Now,
I think he's just found out for himself.
Yep. Now, for everyone at home, prepare to be shocked and amazed.
I've been mainly using a VR headset, so it's probably not linked, actually. I could be in the same
running
thing.
it on the Oculus.
Oculus Shift. Shift Rift. What's the one?
Is it Quest?
Quest, that's the name.
Yeah. Because that one doesn't have to link to the PC. You can load the game on it.
So PC-wise,
Here we go.
Only played 18 hours.
Okay,
yeah. All
that's
right.
disappointingly healthy work-life balance.
Yep.
I won't tell if we can play with the VR headset on, though. I'll take that secret to my grave.
There we have it, folks. A number that not even you will never know.
Have you met anyone interesting?
Yeah, it's been some good people. It's been pretty good. I mean, I've been mainly just exploring the worlds in there because there's some cool things like the climbing games. But you actually got to climb towers and stuff using the controllers. It's pretty physically exercising. But of course, being VR chat, there isn't the usual memes and stuff everywhere. And
is Ugandan Knuckles still a thing?
the odd one or two kids trying to bring a dead meme back to life. But I mean, the most relative meme on there right now would be the simp memes because man, there are some people are very lusty.
Okay, then.
Simply, it's like,
Is this safe for children?
I mean, it's mainly being played by 12-year-olds, so I guess it is. I've only met one other person who's like 21. Everyone else that's been online has been basically like 18 to 13. Like, okay, fair enough. Just there to shout memes, basically. But yeah, no, it's. I've been enjoying it as a way because I haven't really been wanting to buy any. I haven't had the money to buy an actual VR games, but it's a free one. And, it's a good introduction to VR. So I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Ah, that's nice. I've been playing Generation Zero, and yeah, me and the professor we were playing it a couple of days ago, and yeah, we're getting slaughtered.
It's not an easy game.
Oh yeah.
Which led to about 15 minutes of me screaming every time I shot through a window while DJ tried to catch up with me because he died and respawned. Apparently I got upset enough that my girlfriend, who was in the bedroom playing on the Switch, came out to check on me because she just heard me screaming and swearing.
Oh.
She was worried at one point. We were like, "What just happened?" we were still barely scratching the surface of that game, weren't we?
Yeah, we're still on the sort of the first island.
Yeah.
Well, the second island, but in the first map sector.
Yeah.
And the plot's just starting to open up. We've just gotten to the point where you can select quests. It seems like at the point that we're at, it becomes more about exploration than about following a quest marker. So the plot so far, we've come back from an island holiday on a little boat, found out everyone's gone missing and robots have moved in, and we've gone looking for the people and found bunkers with notes and stuff that we're now following to try to chase down other people. What I'm a bit worried about, though, is that one of the recordings we found was a radio transmission from the nearby naval base saying, "Oh God, help us, there's too many of them." And we're like, that sounds like a nice place to go. I think we're going to die.
Oh, then we had a look at the computers they were using, and you were saying some very nice references there, weren't you, Professor?
Yeah, so they have a computer that looks like it's based on an Amiga or on some kind of Commodore. And I was just having a bit of a go at it because they had the Commodores in the control room of the bunker. Like the major military bunker had Commodores in the control room rather than having like a deck or something. Like, I would have expected to see a PDP rather than a bit of civilian-grade hardware. They did have massive tape readers, but could have been part of a PDP. Yes, I was just taking the piss a bit about the retro computers.
Yeah. The fun side about this, the biggest flaw, I think we've encountered some flaws. The other biggest flaw we've encountered is the fact that some of the stuff we have to use to distract our enemies are very short-lived, like your radio, for example.
It's short-lived, but at least we haven't run into that bug you had last week anymore, where the fireworks kept going off on your screen but not on mine.
Yeah, or I don't get stuck too many times.
Yeah, you haven't been stuck much recently, although we haven't been searching many cars, and that's kept getting stuck.
Yeah. But,
DJ has issues with car doors.
But, the game's going good, and even though they're a bit tiny nitpicks that we've been having, like the game's been fun to play with. Like the soundtrack is beautiful to listen to as always. More level design beauties we've been seeing lately.
Yes, that bunker was very atmospheric.
Yeah. I'll give mine the same score as I did last time, which was I think 4 out of 5. So yeah. 4.5 out of 5. That was. So to our shout outs.
Yeah, so unfortunately we have quite a few this week, don't we?
Yeah, yeah. On the 11th of April 2020, John Conway, a renowned mathematician who created one of the first computer games, passes away. So, John Conway, who's an English mathematician, active in the theory of finite groups, knot theory, number theory, combinatorial game theory, and coding theory, and also the inventor of the game of life.
Yes, which to be clear isn't the board game. It's this thing you can do. You can do it all by hand using a couple of sheets of grid paper, but the do it on a computer is so much easier.
Yeah,
it's a system of rules it's called a cellular automata, and it's a system of rules where you seed the map by deciding which cells are alive and which are dead, and then the state of the game plays out from there. There's no further player input. It just determines, like, if the cell has 3 living cells next to it, it becomes alive. If there's too many living cells, it dies because it's overcrowded, things like that. But the interesting thing is it's Turing complete. So, I'm going to throw a link in the show notes to somebody who made Tetris in it, using just the logic of the cells deciding whether they're living or dead.
You can even play this on Google, apparently.
Or Powder Toy got that back in the day.
So a Google search for Conway's Game of Life prompts the search engine to automatically start playing the game. It's now commonly used as an introductory exercise in computer classes. And Conway used his love of games to connect with children, spending time at math camps across the country. He passed away from complications from COVID-19 at the age of 82 in New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Which is a shame, because this guy was amazing.
Yeah. On the 12th of April 2020, Sir Sterling Moss, F1 driver known as one of the best behind the wheel, passes away. Sir Sterling Crawford Moss. He was the inductee of the International Motorsports Hall of Fame. He won 212 of the 529 races he entered across several categories of competition, and has been described as the greatest driver never to win the World Championship. He's best known in the sport as Mr. Motor Racing. Long after his retirement, he was considered a British national treasure. A dashing gentleman who was chivalrous and always sportsmanlike to his competitors despite the cut and thrust of motor racing. He was knighted by Prince Charles, standing for the Queen in 2000. And there's an interesting story on how he became known as Mr. Motor Racing, and the story goes, so in 1958 he could have won the world championship after taking the Portuguese Grand Prix. His arch rival finished second, giving him a key 6 points, but the competitor, who was threatened with disqualification for pushing his stalled Ferrari back on the track after a spin. His disqualification would have put Mr. Moss in the driver's seat for the world title, but Mr. Moss told race officials that the competitor pushed the Ferrari only on an off-the-track area and should not be disqualified. And so the officials took his word for it and awarded the championship to the competitor by a single point.
Wow.
1 point.
That's scary. That's sad though. Like, I narrowly missed winning the championship by 1 point. Oh, can you imagine kicking yourself at this point? At that point.
Yeah. That would have hurt a lot.
So yeah, he passed away from a long illness at the age of 90 in Mayfair, London. 12th of April 2020, Tim Brooke Taylor, best known for his work on The Goodies and I'm Sorry, I Haven't a Clue, passes away. Timothy Julian Brooke Taylor, English comedian and actor. He's best known for being a member of The Goodies, starring in the television series throughout the 1970s and picking up international recognition in Australia and New Zealand. He also appeared as an actor in various sitcoms and was a panelist of I'm Sorry, I Haven't Had a Clue for almost 50 years. In 2008, Brooke Taylor was heard in the Doctor Who audio story, The Zygon Who Fell to Earth, made by the Big Finish Productions. Paul McGann played the 8th Doctor, and Brooke Taylor played the part of Mims, a Zygon taking the shape of a human. In 2011, he was awarded the Officer of the Order of the British Empire during Queen Elizabeth II's birthday honours for his services to entertainment. He passed away from complications from COVID-19 at the age of 79 in the United Kingdom. 13th of April 2020, Rick May, who voiced Star Fox 64, and Team Fortress 2 passed away. I bet you. I'm hoping you both know who Rick May is.
He's Soldier in TF2 and Peppy in Star Fox.
That's
which
right.
means he is responsible for Do a Barrel Roll.
Do a barrel roll.
He was also the voice actor for Genghis Khan in Age of Empires 2 as well.
Cool.
So he passed away from complications from COVID-19 at the age of 79 in Seattle, Washington. On the 14th of April 2020, Pip Baker, one half of the Doctor Who writing duo known as Pip and Jane Baker, passes away. Pip Baker, along with his wife and writing partner Jane, was one of the best-known writers from the mid-80s era of Doctor Who, writing 11 episodes of the series. Together they created the Rani, a female Time Lord scientist who was brought to life so vividly by the late Kato Mara, as well as creating the companion Mel. And they've also contributed to 4 serials in the 1980s, such as The Mark of the Rani, Trial of a Time Lord, Parts 9 to 12 and 14, also known as Terrors of the Voids and The Ultimate Foe, and The Time and the Rani. They also wrote a couple of novels, and they also wrote a Doctor Who game book titled Race Against Time. He passed away from complication from a fall at the age of 91 in the United Kingdom. Onto our remembrances. 5th of April 2020, Honor Blackman, English actress widely known for the roles of Kathy Gale in The Avengers, not the Disney version, but the British Secret Spy Agency version. Bond Girl.
I never knew about that until it was the middle of the night, and it was on one of those random TV channels like 7 Go or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, The Avengers? This isn't The Avengers. not that I expected to see Disney Marvel Avengers, but yeah, that was where I first found out about it, and it's a tragic victim of the policy of wiping tapes, because many of the early episodes are lost.
Yeah, although they did try to do a comeback with the Avengers movie, which was Sean Connery playing as the villain. Funnily enough, and the crazy part about in that movie was people dressing up in teddy bear costumes in that movie.
I hate that.
I know. It was just when I saw at first when you think of when you saw it the first time, you're like, okay, it's really weird. And then when you think about it now, it's like, oh my god, what have you done?
Look, the 60s were a weird time. We're just not going to talk about that. Oh, wait, this movie came out in 1998.
Yep.
Look, the 90s were a weird time. We're just not going to talk about that.
Although it had a good lineup though, like Ralph Fiennes playing as the agent, and Uma Thurman as a scientist, Sean Connery as a villain. Who else was there? Eddie Izzard as one of the henchmen. What could go wrong?
A lot, apparently.
But yeah, I was thinking to myself, like, this movie's not going to age well, is it? So
okay, yeah. Look at the number of Razzies and Stinkers it was nominated for.
Yeah, a bucket-load. That kind of rivals Cats. Anyway, so back to Honor Blackman. She also played it as Bond Girl Pussy Galore in Goldfinger, Julia Daggett in Shalako, and Hera in Jason and the Argonauts. She's also known for her role as Laura West in the ITV sitcom The Upper Hand. At 38, she was one of the oldest actresses to play a Bond girl, and was 5 years older than the star Sean Connery. Albert R. Broccoli said Blackman was cast opposite Sean Connery in the James Bond films based on the success in the British television series The Avengers. He knew that the most American audiences would not have seen the program. Broccoli said the Brits would love her because they knew her as Mrs. Gale, and the Yanks would like her because she was so good. It was a perfect combination.
So, are they implying that the Brits wouldn't like her because she's good? They only like her because they recognize her.
I think so. I think that's the implication. She died from natural causes at the age of 91 in Louis, Sussex. 13th of April 1938, Grey Owl. Archibald Stansfield Blaney, commonly known as Grey Owl, was a British-born conservationist, fur trapper, and writer who pretended to be a First Nation person. When he achieved fame as a conservationist during his life, after his death, the revelation that he was not Indigenous, along with other autobiographical fabrications, negatively affected his reputation. Blaney rose to prominence as a notable author and lecturer, primarily on the environmental issues. So, in
looks
this
a bit
work,
like Hugh Jackman, though, doesn't he?
yeah. Oh, actually, I was thinking more from the picture here. I'm thinking more like a young Timothy Dalton. I could be wrong though. So yeah, his conservation.
Who does he look like?
It looks familiar, but I can't put my name on it.
Okay, do you know where he's from before?
No, I can't say. It's that sort of thing that's back in my mind, but I just don't. No, I can't put a finger on it. It's got me.
It's got him. So yeah, his conservation views largely focused on humans' negative impact on nature through the commodification of nature's resources for profits and the need for humans to develop a respect for the natural world. Recognition of Blaney has included biographies, a historic plaque at his birthplace, and plaque. I thought plaque was the whole tea thing.
It's so true. Plaque is both of them.
Yeah. And 1999 biopic about his life by the director Richard Attenborough. He died from pneumonia at the age of 49 in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan.
Your pronunciation was quite a bit off.
I know, it was Saskatchewan. Oh, I'm going to get murdered
I think it's more like Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
But not knowing many Canadians, I can't confirm.
Yep. On the 13th of April 1941, Annie Jump Cannon, American astronomer whose cataloging work was instrumental in the development of contemporary stellar classification. With Edward C. Pickering, she's credited with the creation of the Harvard classification scheme, which was the first serious attempt to organize and classify stars based on their temperatures and spectral types. She was nearly deaf throughout her career. She was a suffragist and a member of the National Women's Party. Cannon manually classified more stars in a lifetime than anyone else, with the total of around 350,000 stars. Wow. 350,000 stars. How did she do? Like A? Okay, I need to find an A. She discovered 300 variable stars, 5 novas, and 1 spectroscopic binary, creating a bibliography that included about 200,000 references. Oh, that's a lot of references. I'd hate to be the lecturer of that. She discovered her first star in 1898, though she was not able to confirm it until 1905. When she first started cataloging the stars, she was able to classify 1,000 stars in 3 years, but by 1913, she was able to work on 200 stars an hour. Whoa, she's a machine.
Just pumping that stuff out. Wow.
Yeah.
Cannon could classify 3 stars a minute just by looking at the spectral patterns, and if using a magnifying glass, could classify stars down to the 9th magnitude, around 16 times fainter than the human eye can see.
Jesus. Just, yeah, pumping out all those research papers non-stop. Here you go, one more. New star constellation, guys. Oh, wait, not good enough? All right, here's another one. There you go.
Oh, man.
Pulls paper from thin air.
Oh, wow.
What about the peer review people?
Oh,
It's all done. It's all good. Don't worry about it. See, they're a camp fan trailer right behind me, right? They all got a little desk set up. Like, I just throw a paper on them. They just, yep, good. Done. See?
If like cure for if I bet you that, but like cure for cancer. Oh no, who wants a cure for cancer? The stars would do, man. More of a cure for cancer. Stars. The stars are the thing. In 1935, she created the. I was going to tell you. In 1925, she became the first woman to receive an honorary doctorate of science from Oxford University. In 1935, she created the Annie J. Cannon Prize for women of any country whose contributions to the science of astronomy are the most distinguished. She died from congestive heart failure at the age of 77 in Cambridge, Massachusetts. 13th of April, 1944, Cécile Chaminade, French composer and pianist. In 1913, she was awarded the Legionnaire d'Honneur, first for a female composer. Ambrose Thomas said, "This is not a woman who composes, but a composer who is a woman." In 1908, she visited the United States, where she was accorded a hearty welcome. Her compositions were tremendous favorites with the American public, and such pieces as Scarf Dancer or the Ballet No. 1 were found in the music libraries of many lovers of piano music of the time. She composed a Konzertstück for piano and orchestra, the ballet music to Kalierho, and other orchestral works. A song such as The Silver Ring and Rita Notali, oh man, I'm getting carded here, were also great favorites. In 1901, she made gramophone recordings of 7 of her compositions for the Gramophone and Typewriter Company. These are among the most sought-after piano recordings by collectors, and they were reissued on compact disc. She was really relegated to obscurity for the second half of the 20th century. Her piano pieces and music were mostly forgotten. With the Flute Concertino in D minor, OP 107 was composed for the 1902 Paris Conservatoire Concours, her most popular piece today. Her music has been described as tuneful, highly accessible, and mildly chromatic, and it may be regarded as bearing the typical characteristics of late Romantic French music. She died at the age of 86 in Monte Carlo. Now to our famous birthdays. 13th of April 1570, Guy Fawkes, also known as Guido Fawkes. Guido Fawkes, eh? While fighting for the Spanish, was a member of the group of English Catholics who planned the failed gunpowder plot of 1605. Fawkes converted to Catholicism and left for mainland Europe, where he fought for Catholic Spain in the 80 Years' War against Protestant Dutch reformers in the Low Countries. He travelled to Spain to seek support for a Catholic rebellion in England without success. Then he met Thomas Winthor, with whom he returned to England, and you all know the story of Guy Fawkes, right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tried to blow things up, got caught, got in serious trouble.
Yeah, so he was questioned and tortured over for a few days and confessed to wanting to blow up the House of Lords. He became synonymous with the gunpowder plot, with the failure to which has been commemorated in the UK as Guy Fawkes Night since 5th of November 1605, when his effigy is traditionally burned on a bonfire, commonly accompanied by fireworks. He was born in Stonegate, York, and his face is ever so popular till now.
And check out that Wikipedia picture of him. Those eyes, he's just looking at it like, wait a minute, I've had a great idea.
He has that thinking man pose, like.
Yep.
13th of April, 1892, Robert Watson Watt. Sir Robert Alexander Watson Watt, a Scottish pioneer of radio direction finding and radar technology. Watt began his career in radio physics at the job at the Met Office, where he began looking for an accurate way to track thunderstorms using the radio signals given off by lightning. This led to the 1920s development of a system later known as HuffDuff. HuffDuff allowed operators to determine the location of an enemy radio in seconds, and it became a major part of the network of systems that helped defeat the U-boat threat. It is estimated that HuffDuff was used in about a quarter of all attacks on U-boats. And then 1935, Watt was asked to comment on the reports of the German death ray based on radio. Watt and his assistant Arnold Frederick Wilkins quickly determined it's not possible. I don't know. Death ray based on radio. That's there is a thing called the brown. Oh, come on. What about the brown note though? Wouldn't that
probably not real. So you couldn't make a death ray out of radio because the standard radio frequencies are the wrong frequency. What you could do specifically 2.4 gigahertz, aka microwaves. That will cause you to feel hot, but you need to go to a very different frequency to actually kill someone quickly.
Yeah. But Wilkins suggested using radio signals to locate aircraft at long distances. This led to the demonstration where signals from a BBC shortwave transmitter was bounced off a Hartley Page Hayford aircraft. Hence radar was born. Watson Watt justified his choice of a non-optimal frequency for his radar with his often quoted cult of the imperfect, which he stated as give them the best, the third best to go on with, the second best comes too late, and the best never comes. He was born in Brechin, Angus, 13th of April 1899. Alfred Moser Butts, American architect, famous for inventing the board game Scrabble in 1938. In the early 1930s, after working as an architect but now unemployed, Butts set out to design a board game. He studied existing games and found out that the games fell into three categories: number games such as dice and bingo, move games such as chess and checkers, and word games such as anagrams. Butts decided to create a game that utilized both chance and skill by combining elements of anagrams and crossword puzzles, a popular pastime of the 1920s. Players also would draw 7-letter tiles from a pool and then attempt to form words from their 7 keys. A key to this game was Butts' analysis of the English language. Butts studied the front page of the New York Times to calculate how frequently each letter of the English alphabet was used. He then used each letter's frequency to determine how many of each letter he would include in the game. He included only 4 S tiles so that the ability to make words plural would not make the game too easy. Butts initially called the game Lexico, but later changed the name to Criss-Cross Words after considering it, and began looking for a new buyer. The game makers he originally contacted rejected the idea, but Butts was tenacious. Eventually, he sold the rights to entrepreneur and game lover James Brunot, who made a few minor adjustments to the design and renamed the game Scrabble. To memorialize Butts' importance to the invention of the game, there is a street sign at the 35th Avenue and 81st Street in Jackson Heights that is stylized using letters with their values in Scrabble as a subscript. He was born in Poughkeepsie, New York. Imagine, I'm wondering though, with Scrabble, can you imagine updating that game with modern slang?
Oh no, they're gonna do a Cards Against Humanity thing. Scrabble Disney, Scrabble slang, Scrabble streetwear.
No. Make it stop.
Scrabble boomers.
Oh no. What have I done? Events of interest. 13th of April 1953, Project MK Ultra begins. So this is the Project MK Ultra, also called the CIA Mind Control Program, is the code name given to a program of experiments on human subjects that were designed to and undertaken by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, some of which were illegal. And
most of them seem to have been illegal.
Don't say it. It's fine. As long as you don't see it is. It's totally fine.
What was it that classical term? It's all fun and games.
Everything's legal until the cops show around, guys.
A lot of people got hurt.
So yeah, the experimentations were intended to identify and develop drugs and procedures that were used in interrogations in order to weaken the individual and force confessions through mind control. Yeah, mind control. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, that was a thing then.
Well, it's not really a thing. They never got it working.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic. But the project's internationally obscure CIA cryptonym is made up of the digraph MK, meaning that the project was sponsored by the agency's technical services staff, following by the word Ultra, which had previously been used to designate the most secret classifications of World War II intelligence. Other related cryptonyms include Project MK Naomi and Project MK Delta. So, yeah, that's some very interesting code names. The project was organized through the Office of Scientific Intelligence of the CIA and coordinated with the United States Army Biological Warfare Laboratory. Code name for drug-related experiments were Project Bluebird and Project Artichoke.
Project Bluebird, Project Artichoke. Sorry, I just find it funny just how like simple those names are compared to what they actually represent. It's just like
it's an introducing Project Artichoke. We give you marijuana.
Hey guys, they will never know.
Yep, we'll never know. The project was engaged in many illegal activities, including the use of US and Canadian citizens as its unwitting test subjects, which led to controversy regarding its legitimacy. MKUltra used numerous methods to manipulate its subjects' mental states and brain function. Techniques include the covert administration of high doses of psychoactive drugs, especially LSD and other chemicals, electroshocks, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, as well as other forms of torture. Oh man, yeah. And December.
And keep in mind all the people who went nuts for it and did crazy stuff. So there was the guy who committed suicide after being dosed with LSD without being told that he was a test subject. There was the Unabomber who started posting bombs around after he was through MKUltra. It's got to be more of them.
Oh man. And I think you told me as well. The guy who wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was also involved in.
Yes, Ken Kesey was was in MKUltra.
Yeah. So in December 2018, declassified documents include a letter to an unidentified doctor discussing work on 6 dogs made to run, turn, and stop via remote control and brain implants.
Jeez.
13th of April 1970, Apollo 13 oxygen tank explodes. On 13th of April 1970, disaster strikes 200,000 miles from Earth when oxygen tank number 2 blows up on Apollo 13, the third manned lunar landing mission. Astronaut James A. Lovell, John L. Swigert, and Fred W. Hayes had left Earth 2 days before for the far Monroe Highlands of the Moon, which were forced to turn their attention to simply making it home alive. Mission Commander Lovell reported to Mission Control on Earth, "Houston, we have a problem here." So yeah, the astronauts and Mission Control are faced with enormous logistical problems in stabilizing the spacecraft. Navigation was also another problem, and Apollo 13's course was repeatedly corrected with dramatic and untested maneuvers. On April 17th, with the world anxiously watching, tragedy turned to triumph as the Apollo 13 astronauts touched down safely in the Pacific Ocean. You guys saw the movie, by the way?
Yes. Tom Hanks.
That was a good movie. Mm-hmm. And finally, on the 13th of April 2017, the US drops the largest ever nuclear weapon on Nangarhar Province, Afghanistan. The GBU 43-43/B Mass Ordnance Air Blast, commonly known as Mother of All Bombs, large yield bomb developed for the United States military by Albert L. Waymorts Jr. of the Air Force Research Laboratory. God, so many slashes and dashes. At the time of development, it was said to be the most powerful non-nuclear weapon in the American arsenal. The basic principle resembles that of a BLU-82 daisy cutter, which was used to cut heavily wooded areas in the Vietnam War. And the MOB was first dropped in combat on the 13th of April, airstrike against the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, Khorasan Province, tunnel complex in Achin District, Afghanistan. Casualty figures were initially reported as 36, but increased over the following days as reconnaissance units investigated the sites. On the 18th of April, one Afghan security official said that it killed 96 Islamic State militants, among them 13 major commanders. Stars and Stripes reported that General Dawlat Waziri, spokesman for Afghanistan's defense ministry, said that since the strike, the offensive operation in the area was resumed. An Afghan officer also said that the trees 100 meters away from the impact point had remained standing.
Yeah, it's an insane bomb though. I reckon the overpressure from it is enough to blow away the atmosphere and basically turn your lungs inside out. Probably a bit exaggerated, but the idea is it sucks the air out of tunnels and it kills you without having to deal with actually penetrating the tunnel, because any ventilation system, it'll just suck the air out and you die.
I would hate to be those investigators, just like taking photos of the thing, like, I can't take it anymore. It's so much blood everywhere. Yeah. Anything else before we finish the episode?
No, so we're pretty good.
Where do they find us, DJ?
They can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All of the stuff will be on our show notes. They can find us there. They can also find us on that'snotcanon.com, where we have an archive of old episode. Also, they can also check out some of the other podcasts, such as That's Not COVID, which is the podcast for people staying in quarantine, if I recall, Professor.
Yes, and it's called That's Not COVID because we don't discuss anything to do with the virus. We just discuss things to do and other things you can do to stay sane at the moment.
Fair enough. And see you next week.
Will do. See you later, guys.
Stay hydrated, look after each other, and stay inside.